Yes.
Oh, so Honey Munder, are you also cold or are you hot like the rest of us? Can you unmute yourself? Okay. Okay, so Japa Saraswati, can you
Yes.
lead us to our birthdays talking?
Yeah, hold on one sec. So I really love most of us know, some of us know the On This Day birthday song. So I thought uh anybody who wants to sing along, just go on to mute, and but let's enjoy the birthday song for Serena, okay?
Okay, that'll be
Okay,
great.
here we go. I know it's gonna be fun.
On this day, the Lord gave you life. May you use it to serve Him. All of our loving prayers will be with you. May you never forget Him. On this day, the Lord gave you life. May you use it to serve Him. All of our loving prayers will be with you. May you never forget Him. On this day, the Lord gave you life. May you use it to serve Him. All of our loving prayers will be with you. May you never forget Him. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you. Guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. So
I think we have about another minute of Satnams in there, so shall we tune in, Siri Gian, and
Well,
start with our
where is Aagia Pal? Oh, there she is.
I'm here.
Oh, good.
I think I am.
How cute.
You are
Okay,
here.
that's good.
Home sweet home.
Oh, you did it right because we we normally don't have video but they're for our beautiful faces, but you can leave them as still photos. That's good. That's cool. Okay. So,
Do you want to do the Om Namo Guru Dev Namo, Siri
yes.
Gian?
Yes, let's do that now.
Let's do that.
Okay. Okay. Palms together. Inhale.
Sadguru Name, Jugadguru Name, Sadguru Name, Sadguru Sadguru Name, Jugadguru Name, Sadguru Name, Sadguru Name, Sadguru Name, Jugadguru Name, Sadguru Name, Sadguru Name.
Breathe. Feel your breath. And now, can we look to the document?
Sure. Okay. So this is class 2, the Buddha letting go message. Please read the whole document from Japa Saraswati. After that, Aagia Pal will lead the Dynamite Diamond, then Siri Gian for CNR.
Oh, now wait a minute. I want to tell you something. I went a little bit not correct. The first thing is about you knew what happened next week, right?
Oh, yeah. Do you want to do the sharing first?
Yes, please.
Okay. All right. I'll stop the share and then we'll do that first.
Okay. So do you all remember about the video for 25 minutes for you for last week? And the question is, what was your answer? What was your feeling to have about no ego? You remember that? Have you worked with that? Okay, so this is going to start with listening for each of you. Okay, so Aagia Pal, what did you find from your last session?
Well, when I was sitting with it and listening again, you know, the difference between pain, which is something we all have, and suffering, um, became very clear to me about what I do to myself, the suffering that I actually am responsible for. And what what this has done is has given me a lot more freedom, a lot less guilt, a lot more awakening to you know oneness, a source consciousness, allowing that to move through me um a lot more. So that what I've found is that I tend to hold on, and especially to things that remind me of, let's say, my parents, or people who I really loved and have gone, and feeling like I need to hold on to them, but that's, and then on the other hand, it's like, okay, you felt the pain, you left, they left, you still, it doesn't mean that you're not going to love them anymore if you don't keep your mother's kitchen table. And it's just a matter of, it's not that you're not loyal to. So I learned quite a bit about how to free myself um, from the suffering of attachment. And so while I have more to do, this was markedly better. It really helped a lot. So that's that for me.
That's great.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome, dear.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Welcome.
Okay. So, Gian Dasprem.
Satnam.
Satnam.
Yes, so the depth, and the breathing, and the slowing down, and focusing till you can lose focus, I guess. It's a sort of that deep forgetting, but deep is the word that really came through for me this week, through a couple of my friends, and meditative walking. And what I'm noticing is like almost returning to certain parts of my practice, and this seems to help me with the shadow work and the periphery within the shadow work of the view, and then the releasing of the view for the form, for the changing of that form into release, acceptance, however, and it brought me into dreams. And I really had this just a beautiful dream of a crow helping me down to the ground by grabbing me by my hair.
Wow.
So yeah, and just some of the things that I'm seeing, and just noticing how the I am corresponding with these other beings here, and noticing that for me, as a man, just within the depth of that, coming to forgiveness with the realization of letting go of that. For me, it's physical actions of the witnessing the violence, and coming to this space of letting go. For that full circle again, for me, it's sort of a repetitive thing, but and just noticing how we're doing things together, right? How there seems to be a willingness for us now to come to this place of clarity, and clearing, and the heart, and noticing the flow there, that welcome to earth sort of thing. Yeah, it's just the gift at the same time that we're sort of relinquishing. And then, yeah, for me, that's my opinion. So, and I was able to listen more to the voice this week, because um, the male voice sometimes for me can have sort of, there's a little bit of an offensive thing there, but this week I had noticed that it was much more soothing and much more calming, and that sometimes listening to the louder voice or the voice that can seem uncomfortable is the one that when we embrace it, we'll have a little bit more of a challenge to find our way through to that other breath, to that, more clearing of within the breath. And Waheguru. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's see. Sun City? Satnam, did you see it?
I was here last week, and
Yeah.
some really powerful things, transformation occurred. So I spent most of my life, it came from being one of 12 children, pretty much, with limited resources and hunger.
Can you tell everybody how many children?
12. And I was the oldest girl, and in my culture, Irish Catholic culture, I was supposed to never get married and be like I was a substitute mother. And it was a lot of stress because I was very young and I couldn't handle everything. And of course, you got all those kids, and we were on a dead end street with 80 children. So, kids would be falling out of windows. One sister decided, that she would just go out the window and see what it was like. So there was that combination of deprivation and kind of overwhelming responsibilities. And my mother was like, "You are never going to get married, and you're always going to take care of the whole family." And I was like thinking to myself, "I'm sorry, Mom, but I'm not doing that." So I want to emphasize the hunger, the physical hunger from not having enough food or that kind of thing, which now I'm obsessed with food. I moved and I had like 100 cookbooks. It's like food porn. So, and I love to cook. Kind of obsessed with it. What I'm trying to say at heart is doing the work we did really filled me with a sense of gratitude and a recognition always already everything I need is there. And that's a product of Kundalini yoga, meeting you, getting into the Dharma, being part of this community. I really can trust that it's going to be okay. And I'm going to give you an example. I've been living in a Catholic worker house, which has been awesome. Suddenly, Father George had to be whisked away to. He was really bad Alzheimer's, and a lot of difficult things were happening, around turning off stoves, and the whole house could have burned down. But what was so wonderful about it is he got whisked away by his order of priests to a very lovely place where he would be, instead of struggling and having all these heavy responsibilities in this huge house, he was totally taken care of. And I was praying, thinking and understanding, wow, there's the guru is taking care of him, just like the guru is taking care of me. So we were left in this house and having to get out because he had sold it to some people, and they were kind of not really nice and taking over the house before they took any advantage of the fact that he was not there to move in early and kicking us who were there out. And I was really scared because I was going to be homeless. Was facing this thing of homelessness for about at least 6 months as soon as I had learned that George was going to shut down. And I was really worried. And so, what, by the grace of the Guru, shows up. I have a friend who I met at a coffee shop, and he said, "Oh, I have the perfect place for you. This is boarding house that my friend who I grew up with will let you come and stay for $160 a month. The going rate for an apartment here is like 2,000. Well, when I was looking, it was $2,700. So there's a guru for you. Working, always already working to support us, to support me, to cover us. If I can just be open and flexible to how it's going to happen. So I'm in this wonderful boarding house, which is so old fashioned, and having, I was really scared of leaving Framingham. This has been really an important place for me, and being close to the ashram. And so many other people were petrified for this possibility of me, just petrified that I was going to be on the street. But I never worried because I understood the guru's always already got it covered. And that doesn't mean I don't have to do my part, because if I hadn't been really open-minded at this coffee shop and talking to people who had to get stuff off their chest and made a really nice friendship, I would never have been introduced to the gentleman who's running this boarding house. It charges only $160. It barely even covers the cost of the utilities I cause. So I love that. It just makes me laugh because that is such an powerful spiritual space of being able to just laugh and be happy. And my siblings have all started the same. One of my 11 siblings, they always said, they're always worried that something's going to happen because they have all these professional lives and have a lot of money and big houses, and they're always worried. And of course, I have spent time because of a mental health issue, I have spent time in hospitals and have struggled. But it's all worked out. And just, I really have deep trust now and faith that I can relax and serve and teach and not worry because I'm in the palm of the Guru's hand. It makes me cry. Big journey to this new space. And that's what really became clear to me. Watching how the Guru was like, okay, first I was going to have this apartment in senior housing, and then that was supposed to take 10 years to get. And then it was 6. I was supposed to be homeless because I had supposed to have the senior housing, and it was going to take 10 years. Then it became, oh, well, we'll have it in 6 years. And then it was, oh, guess what? Somebody died and there's a space in 3 years. And finally, then somebody died. It's like, you can move in next week. Well, that didn't exactly happen because it's still not worked out, but I'm totally covered and I'm enjoying the heck out of being in this boarding house with this very nice gentleman who's just so kind, taking people in and covering them. So if you have questions about it, it's just so amazing and miraculous. The housing situation is so crazy in Boston Metro West and throughout the country, really, New York, way beyond what people can afford. And there's a really big homeless encampment in downtown Framingham, and they got kicked out of the storefronts where they would stay where it was warm to this big parking lot behind the main stores in downtown Framingham. And I just pray a lot that those folks get everything they need, and that this housing thing, which is, I guess, a problem across the country. I've had to learn a little bit about it. So I hope I'm clear, and by the grace of God and Guru, living the miracles. What can we say? Adios.
Thank you so much. That's quite a story.
Isn't it?
Yes, because I've heard that before, but the way you put it together, that was amazing. That was total powerful.
Guru gives me goosebumps. Is always a ready. We're in the hand of the Guru.
You got it.
Yeah, and to have that trust creates so much. It's like a fountain of love in my heart that I can then bring and uplift others, and that's what this path is all about for me. Because this community is so uplifting every week. And then, of course, you guys, many of you are coming back from Solstice and teaching in your communities. It's such a gift to give to others, this whole way of life. So I'm very thankful. And thank you, Siri Gian, as you were my introduction. Waheguru.
God bless you, dear. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Hadimander.
Satnam, good morning. I am going to be a silent angel today.
Oh, she's an angel. Serena, what this means is that we will have a person to say we're not talking
today
on the Zoom. Okay? Thank you, dear.
No.
Thank you.
Okay. So now, Serena, would you like to listen for this for last week?
I would like to share.
Say it again.
Could I share?
Can you? I don't understand.
Oh, I would like to talk. I would like to share.
Oh, please. Yes, we want that.
Okay, great. Well, I watched the 25 minutes about the Buddha's teaching on letting go last night. And it was really good timing because I had something happen on Sunday that I've really been having a hard time with. Yeah, and what happened, it seems really simple, but it's just really, really affecting me. I went to this yoga class, like a 3-hour asana and pranayama practice that I've been going to for like 7 years. And the teacher has sold his house, and this was like the last class at this house. And it's a really powerful class, and I always feel really different afterwards, like really open. And I was asking the teacher about the house sale and what was happening for him, and he is going to be leaving Portland, where I live. And I told him that I would miss him a lot. And I felt that I just had very clean energy in the interaction and was just wanting to know what was going on with him and wanted to wish him well. And he was just giving me really negative energy. Like I asked him, oh, is it the people while you're leaving? And he said, well, you're here. And like he was kind of joking, but I was like, so you're leaving because of me? But I really experience him leaving as a loss for myself because I get a lot out of these teachings. And we did like have a good exchange, and I was able to express my feelings, but I felt like he was playing games, like, and giving me negative energy. And I just think because of the timing, like he was just teaching this really powerful class for 3 hours and had accumulated a lot of power, and I was very open. And there's this, I just was feeling very, very bad about it for a long time. And so the Buddha's teaching is really helpful because I know I need to let go of that, and it's really like his stuff. But it's also just it's sort of hitting some of my patterns that are really deep, and and I don't really know the steps of letting go. Like I know I need to let go, but how do you do that? So the teaching was really helpful as far as, yes, it comes to your mind and you acknowledge it, and you don't attach to the emotions that come up. Like don't get into the story of why this happened, which is what I've been doing for days. And and I'm on vacation, and it's my birthday, and it's really, I don't want it to ruin that, and it doesn't need to. So I'm wanting to get back to my clean energy and my pure intentions for myself and for my teacher, and to keep growing. So it's really good timing for me, and I'm grateful to the teaching and to this group. Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah, and I think I'm done.
Okay, this is wonderful.
Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Okay. Now, Kehar, do you want to talk with that?
I watched the second part. That's what I thought it was for today. The
Oh,
20, 25 to 50 minute, but it was the first half that was for today.
yeah.
Um but
Okay. Okay,
but
so no, because we're going to do this for the second, the middle
mhm.
aspect, and
Okay.
that's what we're going to do now. Is that
Oh, okay.
okay?
Yeah, that's the part I did. So
Okay, good. Good. You'll know about double. Okay,
okay.
good. Okay, so Japa Saraswati, can you look again for the what do you call it? For the document?
Oh yeah, can I share though? I have
Oh, yes.
notes.
I'm sorry.
I
Yes, of
have lots
course.
of notes. In fact, I have a whole so my notes when I went back and listened to the first 25 minutes of the recording.
Mhm.
Um uh coming to really right to what Serena said, and I had been meditating about this from before, but this was part of my message from Bubba. So when we identify too heavily with situation X, it solidifies that feeling in our body because we're telling stories, we're lost in the story, we are building energy on it and ruminating on it.
Mm.
And that this is the story about the self, um, but I want part of my message from my soul that I really felt strongly was to be careful not to censor or silence or enable or perpetuate abusive situations with silence because of refusing to name it, because of refusing to identify with it. That is dangerous. And but I want to come back to the place where, you know, our consciousness is temporary or transitory state of reality. And another thing that from the video that really stuck with me was that waiting for an apology ties us to the person who hurt us. I was just so I had to play that back a couple of times because it was important to me. And so now I then the other part was that you'd asked us what would it be like without a body and or without the ego, sorry. And so so I keep on, you'd asked this before, we've talked about this before, but I keep coming back to the koshas, which they are kind of like the light bodies in that they sit like sheaths around our body. But the Annamaya kosha is this red outer layer, and it's not necessarily shaped like this. This is just the depiction that I found from the internet. But the Annamaya kosha is the physical body. Sometimes it's called the food body. And but the ego resides in the Manamaya kosha, which is the next one in, and that's the mental sheath. It comes from the mind, emotions, and it makes up our sense of identity, our sense of I. And then the next sheath in is the Vijnanamaya kosha, which is the wisdom body, the intellect sheath, and it's for higher discernment. And what I kept coming up on is that we need our ego to like the ego needs, the food body needs to take care of this whole physical sheath so that we have these inner layers to move forward, to work with. It's not possible to have no ego, but it is possible to identify less with the ego and still manage to care for the body. We can't do tapas so hard that we're doing austerities to the point that we are not taking care of the physical sheath. You know, some people go too far with it, thinking I'm going to get completely away from the ego and I'm not going to associate with the ego, but then they do tapas or austerities hoping to enlighten their soul, but instead do real harm to the situation of their body, you know? So that was my that was my thought from. So now do we want to do the screen share for the
Yes, well, first of
yes.
all, that was very good.
Thank
Oh,
you, thank you, thank you.
Yes. And first of all, I wanted to remember those identifiers. Can you just talk them again?
the koshas?
Koshas.
No, before that, you were talking about identifier.
Oh, when we identify too heavily with whatever situation, that
Yeah,
it solidifies. Yeah, that was from the first 25 minutes of the film, that it solidifies. I don't think that this video used the word density, but I've heard other people using the word density to mean that when we identify with it so much that we bring energy, it's like we're breathing it into our body and into our into our electromagnetic field, and that leaves a bit of a residue. But right before, I mean, I know that this is why I was meditating about this right before. Like, you know how in the ashram communities, people don't talk about stuff because they're like, oh, I don't want to identify with it. I don't want to. And I feel like it really, why I was meditating about it was in my lived experience, I felt frustrated and that it prevented people from getting necessarily some of the help and support that they might have needed. But I do agree that it probably kept gossip down. But like, I still have like a really good friend at the ashram now, and when I talked to her last week, she wouldn't tell me what was the problem
Oh,
because she doesn't want to identify too heavily with it, but she's clearly in distress with me on the phone. And this is her living 50 plus years of this lifestyle of a silence, you know? And so I understand really not wanting to tell the stories and build density around, build energy around the story, but um, we have to talk about things. You know, it's not, and like I would come back to the idea that it's all just a temporary, transitory state, and to be even a little bit lighter with it and to communicate. To me, I feel communicate more fully. You know, like I don't, in my experience, I don't think that the culture of silence has been that beneficial for me. Um,
oh,
yeah.
Um, hey, Siri Gian, it's
yeah.
Kehar. Can I
Oh,
just
hi.
add one thing? Can I, even though I didn't listen to the first 25 minutes, but listening to you all and also just knowing the topic of, talking about ego and everyday self and soul, um, which is, something that's been around for a while. I did this really big soul healing on myself last night. And the
Wow.
one thing, yeah, it was pretty crazy actually, but awesome. I wanted to share just this one part at the end of it, which is we create our own story. And to me, it's like this image of a paintbrush and whatever you want to call it, ego, everyday self, we are that paintbrush at the end that commits to creating the painting, right? And from all it is like the commitment to keep making the painting, right? Which is feeling everything that comes through us. And that does tie into, right, what the non-permanence and not holding on to what we feel and letting it kind of go through us, right?
Mhm.
And then in that image, that the heart of it was the joy, right? The Ananda kosha or whatever
Mhm.
in that picture. And that's that paintbrush. So it's, to me, it's like just the end of the day, it's a commitment to like be in that, know that we are that which moves through us. Does that resonate as best as I can in this moment alliterate? Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, Japa Saraswati.
Yes, let's do the screen share of the document.
Okay. Because this is about from the first talking, but that's okay.
Okay, so we read the introductory. We'll start with my dear light workers. This will be a course for 3 weekly classes. This is our second weekly class. Now what we have you found from the first video segment for our video. Please let us know what you have understood from each of you have changed or healed from your study meditation from our first class. So that was the share we just did.
Exactly.
Listen from each of you to give a short synopsis from your answer by using round robin listening now.
Which you just did.
Then I suggest that you truly, deeply feel this great letting go, as well as slide from fear. You can embody these items from CNR, Consciousness No Reality. We have found that they help us to move how to let go from our ego, everyday self, as well as moving out from your third dimension while ascending to your fifth dimension. As you let go from your old thinking, old thought believing, your images that evaporate, your old unbreakable understanding, change or transform kindly. Use your heart breath self during the second segment of our video. As you let go, then finally, simply, and softly be. The Buddha way is to allow wisdom, peace, and pure love. Just be. Then perhaps you will let go from piece by piece from your shell's ego to become your true, humble, strong, pure, transformational, simple, kind, loving you. But that is not thinking or trying about all of these human characteristics. Instead, you will find slash love these characters deeply within your own true source, not from ego, not proud, but true humility. Allow fun, letting go with heart breath, to change from dark to light, able to use your brain straight from your pure, simple, authentic intelligence. You will see these 3 portions of this Buddhist teaching from an AI remarkable video. You will see each of these short sections, about 25 minutes, are presented for our video's timelines and also for working with smaller amounts of your mind's processing. Please view each weekly section during our class and also during the rest of the second week. With that, we can evolve these ideas with more deeply within your true knowing. Be sure that you don't try to go forward to your third week section video. So she's saying stay on section 2 for this week. Instead, please keep with your own meditations and realizations during the second week. In that way, you can better process your understandings within your whole consciousness. There is transforming/healing within the rest of your life. Let go deeply that nothing can hurt you anymore. That's the title of the video. We have this, everybody has this document sent to them. Week 1 is done. Week 2, we're going to listen from 25 minutes to 50 minutes. Here's the link. And after that, Aagia Pal will lead us for 1 minute of heart pumping, which is heart breath layered with breath of fire. Then use the 2 parts for this meditation for the Dynamite Diamond meditation. We'll do 1 minute, begin heart breath, listen from your voice to decide who or what will move toward your Heelys meditation. So for Kehar and Serena, for this, we basically just pick something that we want to work on healing, whether it's within ourself, in the greater world, whatever it is, that is our Heely. So we pick something to heal during this Dynamite Diamond meditation. Then for 3 minutes, continue heart breath, feeling very strong third eye energies to feel, focus, and see direct your light beam to your Healy. Then Siri Gian will lead us. So we'll continue with CNR, Consciousness No Reality. So 5 minutes of Consciousness No Reality, which is strong heart breath, belly breath, nose inhalation for 6 seconds, nose exhalation for 6 seconds from out your heart center. Slide from fear, let go of any of your nasty, difficult old stuff. No reality, no thinking, no everyday self, only feel, just be. Then we will spend 2 minutes to become awareness and understand what happened from everyday self using our notes. Got it?
Yes. Listen and share. Okay. Good.
Okay, I hope I'm ready for the video.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm not. Not quite ready for the video. Let's see. Downloads.
Becomes
I
more
had it
stable.
queued up. Is it
This
queued
is
up? It's almost queued up.
Oh, I want to let you know, I don't think I can stay till the very end, but thank you so much, and I'll stay 10 more minutes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
And anybody, please let me know if there's problems with the audio, because I'm wearing earbuds, I'm doing this, etc. So here we go.
Oh, wait a minute. Serena, if you have to short things for today, be sure that you do that for next week, like we did before at the beginning.
Okay, will do. Thank you.
Go ahead.
every change feels like threat. Releasing control over outcomes frees you from this constant emotional instability. You learn to accept success without clinging and loss without collapsing. When you stop trying to control how people see you, another layer of suffering dissolves. Many people suffer because they want to be understood, appreciated, validated, or remembered in a certain way. Buddhism teaches that chasing approval ties your identity to opinions that change constantly. When you release the need to control how others perceive you, your sense of self becomes steadier. You no longer rise and fall with praise or criticism, you become rooted within yourself. Releasing control also changes how you experience uncertainty. Instead of seeing uncertainty as danger, you begin to see it as openness. The future no longer feels like a threat that must be managed. It becomes a space of possibility. Buddhism teaches that clinging to certainty is another form of attachment. When you accept that you do not need to know how everything will unfold, the mind relaxes into trust. This trust is not blind optimism. It is confidence in your ability to meet whatever arises with awareness and presence. As control loosens, something profound happens. Life stops pushing back. Situations still arise, but they no longer feel like personal attacks. You respond instead of react. You adapt instead of resist. You learn when to act and when to step back. This flexibility is a form of wisdom. The Buddha taught that suffering decreases when resistance decreases. When you stop insisting that life should match your expectations, peace begins to grow naturally. Letting go deeply at this level also transforms fear. Fear thrives on the illusion that you must manage everything to stay safe. When you release control, fear loses its foundation. You realize that safety does not come from controlling life, but from being present with it. You trust your awareness more than your plans. You trust your resilience more than your predictions. Over time, releasing control becomes a way of living. You stop gripping people emotionally. You stop forcing timelines. You stop replaying scenarios in your mind. You become calmer not because life becomes easier, but because you stop adding unnecessary struggle to it. This calmness is not indifference, it is clarity. When you no longer fight reality, reality no longer feels like an enemy. Life becomes something you move with, not against. This is the quiet strength Buddhism points to. A strength that does not dominate, but flows. A peace that does not depend on conditions. When control is released, suffering has nowhere to attach itself. You remain steady, even when things change. This is how letting go protects you. Not by shielding you from life, but by freeing you from the need to control it. When life is no longer something you wrestle with, nothing can break you in the same way again. 7. When nothing is held tightly, nothing can break you. At the deepest level of Buddhist understanding, freedom comes not from changing life, but from changing how tightly you hold it. What ultimately breaks people is not loss itself, but attachment to what was never guaranteed to stay. When you hold people, identities, outcomes, and expectations too tightly, you create fear beneath the surface of your life. Fear of losing, fear of change, fear of becoming nothing without what you are holding. Buddhism teaches that this fear is the final root of suffering, and that liberation begins the moment you loosen your grip. Most people move through life carrying invisible contracts in their heart. They believe that if they love enough, sacrifice enough, behave correctly, or endure patiently, life will reward them with stability and certainty. When reality breaks these silent agreements, the heart feels betrayed. But Buddhism teaches that life never signed those contracts. Everything that comes into your life is conditional, temporary, and dependent on countless causes beyond your control. When you understand this deeply, not intellectually but emotionally, disappointment begins to lose its power over you. What hurts you is what you believe you cannot live without. When your identity is built on being chosen, you break when you are rejected. When your worth depends on success, you break when you fail. When your peace depends on control, you break when uncertainty arrives. Letting go deeply means untangling your sense of self from these external conditions. You begin to see that you are still whole, even when things fall apart. You are still complete, even when plans dissolve. This realization is not dramatic. It is quiet, steady, and deeply grounding. Buddhism teaches that clinging is exhausting because it requires constant vigilance. You must monitor, protect, defend, and manage what you are attached to. You worry about losing it, changing it, or not being enough to keep it. This constant mental effort drains your energy and narrows your life. When you let go deeply, the mind finally rests. You stop guarding your happiness like something fragile. You stop living in fear of loss. Peace becomes something you carry within, not something you negotiate with the world. When nothing is held tightly, pain still arises, but it does not shatter you. You feel sadness without despair. You feel disappointment without bitterness. You feel loss without losing yourself. Buddhism does not promise a life without pain. It offers a way to experience pain without being destroyed by it. This resilience does not come from hardening the heart, but from softening attachment. The softer your grip, the less life can wound you. This is why deeply liberated people appear calm, even in difficulty. They are not numb, and they are not detached from life. They are simply not clinging to how things should be. They allow life to arrive and depart without resistance. When joy comes, they enjoy it fully. When it leaves, they bow and let it go. This balance is not indifference, it is wisdom. It is understanding that everything has its season, and no season defines the whole of life. Letting go deeply also dissolves resentment. Resentment is attachment to how someone should have been. It is the refusal to release an image of the past that no longer exists. When you let go deeply, you stop demanding that people become who you needed them to be. You accept who they were, who they are, and who they may never become. This acceptance does not excuse harm. It frees you from carrying anger that poisons your own peace. As attachment loosens, gratitude replaces fear. You stop measuring life by how long things last and begin appreciating them for having existed at all. Relationships become gifts instead of guarantees. Moments become experiences instead of possessions. Even pain becomes a teacher rather than an enemy. Buddhism teaches that when you stop demanding permanence, you discover abundance everywhere. At this depth, letting go also transforms how you face uncertainty and death. The fear of endings softens because you no longer see endings as personal failures. You see them as part of the natural rhythm of existence. Birth and death, gain and loss, coming and going, all belong to the same movement of life. When you stop resisting this movement, you stop feeling personally attacked by change. Nothing can break you when your happiness is not built on fragile foundations, when your peace does not depend on outcomes, when your identity is not tied to roles that can be taken away. When your worth is not measured by what you have or who stays, Buddhism teaches that the unbreakable mind is not rigid but flexible. It bends without shattering. It adapts without losing itself. This does not mean you stop caring. It means you stop clinging. You still love deeply, but you do not chain your survival to love's permanence. You still strive, but you do not collapse when efforts fail. You still dream, but you do not lose yourself when dreams change. This balance is the heart of Buddhist freedom. Over time, this way of being changes how you move through the world. You become less reactive, less defensive, and less afraid. You listen more, you accept more. You speak from calm rather than urgency. Life feels less like a battlefield and more like a flowing river. You learn when to step forward and when to release. You trust yourself to meet whatever comes. When nothing is held tightly, nothing can be taken from you in a way that destroys you. Loss still happens, but it no longer defines you. Pain still visits, but it no longer rules you. Change still arrives, but it no longer terrifies you. You stand steady, not because life is stable, but because you are. This is the final depth of letting go that Buddhism points toward. Not escape from life, but freedom within it. Not immunity from pain, but liberation from suffering. When the heart releases its grip, life can no longer wound it in the same way. And in that release, you discover a quiet, unshakable peace that nothing can break. 8. Freedom is not becoming untouchable. It is becoming empty enough to feel everything without being owned by it. At the deeper stage of letting go, Buddhism reveals a truth that can feel unsettling at first, yet incredibly liberating once understood. Freedom is not about becoming hardened, distant, or emotionally unreachable. It is not about building walls so thick that nothing can enter. True freedom is not numbness. True freedom is emptiness. Not an empty life, but an empty grasp, an empty need, an empty attachment to how things must feel, how people must behave, and how life must unfold. When you become empty in this way, everything can touch you, yet nothing can own you. Many people believe the goal of letting go is to stop feeling pain. Buddhism teaches something far more subtle. Pain will still arise, sadness will still visit, joy will still appear and disappear. What changes is not the presence of emotion, but your relationship to it. When the heart is empty of clinging, emotions move through you like weather through open space. A storm may pass, but it does not become your identity. The sky is not damaged by the clouds that cross it. In the same way, when you let go deeply, emotions no longer define who you are. Suffering continues only when emotions are grasped, labeled, judged, and held tightly. The mind says, "I should not feel this," or "this feeling means something is wrong with me," or "this pain will last forever." Buddhism teaches that these thoughts are the final layer of suffering. When you release them, emotions lose their sharpness. Sadness becomes sadness, not despair. Fear becomes fear, not panic. Joy becomes joy, not something you must cling to out of fear that it will vanish. Emptiness allows experience without ownership. At this depth, letting go means releasing the need to protect yourself from life. Many people spend their lives bracing, guarding, anticipating pain before it arrives. This constant self-protection creates tension in the body and mind. Buddhism teaches that the self you are trying to protect is not as fragile as you believe. When you stop defending against every possible hurt, you discover that awareness itself is resilient. You can feel deeply without breaking. You can experience loss without losing yourself. This emptiness is not coldness, it is openness. An open heart feels more, not less, but it does not cling. It does not demand that feelings stay or leave. It allows experience to unfold naturally. When love arrives, it is welcomed fully. When love ends, it is released without hatred. When happiness appears, it is enjoyed without fear. When sorrow arises, it is met with compassion instead of resistance. This is the highest form of emotional maturity Buddhism offers. Buddhism teaches that the sense of I that feels hurt is often constructed around attachment. The mind says, "This happened to me. This defines me. This should not have happened to someone like me." When you let go deeply, this rigid sense of self softens. Experience still happens, but it no longer feels personal in the same painful way. Life unfolds, emotions arise, and awareness remains steady. You realize that you are not the story, you are the space in which the story appears. At this level, forgiveness happens naturally without effort. Not because others deserve it, but because holding on no longer makes sense. Anger requires energy, resentment requires memory, hatred requires repetition. When the heart becomes empty of clinging, these states dissolve on their own. You stop replaying, you stop rehearsing, you stop reliving. Peace is not forced. It is revealed. Emptiness also changes how you experience joy. Joy no longer becomes something you chase or fear losing. It becomes something you receive fully, knowing it will pass, and appreciating it more deeply because of that truth. Buddhism teaches that impermanence does not make life meaningless, it makes it precious. When you stop demanding permanence, every moment becomes enough. When nothing is owned, life feels lighter. You stop carrying emotional baggage from one moment to the next. You stop defining yourself by what happened yesterday. You stop projecting fear into tomorrow. You live more fully here. This presence is the foundation of peace. Not peace as an emotion, but peace as a state of being. At this depth, even the fear of being hurt dissolves. You realize that pain does not destroy awareness. Loss does not erase being, change does not end you. The fear that once controlled your decisions loses its grip. You stop avoiding life in order to feel safe. You start living openly, honestly, and gently. Buddhism teaches that the most unshakable person is not the one who feels nothing, but the one who feels everything without clinging. This person cannot be easily manipulated, controlled, or broken, because there is nothing inside them that must be protected at all costs. Their peace does not depend on comfort. Their worth does not depend on approval. Their happiness does not depend on certainty. This is the final release, not the release of emotion, but the release of ownership. When you no longer say, "This feeling is me," or "This experience defines me," suffering loses its final hold. Life continues, but it no longer wounds you in the same way. When you become empty in this way, you are not hollow. You are free, free to feel, free to love, free to lose, free to begin again. Nothing is blocked, and nothing is held. In this openness, nothing can truly hurt you, because nothing stays long enough to become a prison. This is the quiet freedom Buddhism points toward, not escape from the world, but complete openness within it. When the heart lets go completely, life touches you, but it no longer owns you. And in that emptiness, you discover the deepest peace a human being can know. 9. Peace appears when you stop asking life to be fair and start allowing it to be real. One of the most hidden sources of suffering is the belief that life should be fair, predictable, and balanced according to our personal sense of justice. Buddhism gently teaches that this belief, while understandable, quietly keeps the heart in conflict with reality. Life does not unfold according to fairness as the mind imagines it. Good people suffer. Unkind people sometimes prosper. Effort does not always lead to reward, and patience is not always met with understanding. When the mind insists that life should behave differently than it does, suffering becomes constant, because reality never signs an agreement with expectations. Many people carry an invisible question inside their heart that repeats endlessly. Why did this happen to me? Why was I treated this way? Why did I give so much and receive so little? These questions feel natural, but Buddhism teaches that they quietly bind you to pain. Each time you ask them, the mind returns to comparison, judgment, and resistance. The heart argues with the past, and the present moment becomes poisoned by unresolved expectations. Letting go deeply at this level means releasing the demand that life explain itself to you. This does not mean that injustice becomes acceptable or that suffering is dismissed. Buddhism does not deny harm or pain. It simply teaches that clinging to the idea of fairness keeps the wound open. When you believe that something should not have happened, the mind keeps reliving it in search of moral balance. But life is not a courtroom. It does not deliver verdicts that satisfy the wounded heart. When you stop asking life to be fair, something inside you relaxes. You stop fighting what already happened. The expectation of fairness often hides another attachment, the attachment to identity. The mind says, someone like me should not experience this, or after everything I have done, I deserve better. Buddhism teaches that suffering becomes heavier when it is personalized. When pain becomes proof of something being wrong with you or with the world, it deepens. Letting go means allowing experience to be experience, without attaching it to self-worth, moral deserving, or cosmic punishment. When you release the demand for fairness, you stop measuring life constantly. You stop comparing your journey to others. You stop asking why their life looks easier or why your path feels heavier. Comparison feeds resentment, and resentment quietly steals peace. Buddhism teaches that every life unfolds under different conditions, shaped by causes and effects that are mostly invisible. When you stop comparing, you stop suffering unnecessarily. This release also transforms how you carry disappointment. Disappointment arises when reality fails to meet expectation. When expectations soften, disappointment loses its intensity. You still notice when things do not go as planned, but you no longer collapse emotionally. You adjust, you adapt, you continue. This flexibility is a form of wisdom. The Buddha taught that rigidity creates suffering, while flexibility allows peace. Letting go of fairness also means releasing the hope that the past will be corrected. Many people wait for karma to act in a visible way, for apologies to arrive, or for others to finally understand the pain they caused. While these things may happen, Buddhism teaches that tying your peace to them keeps you emotionally dependent. When you stop waiting for external resolution, you reclaim your inner freedom. You are no longer paused, waiting for life to catch up to your expectations. As this understanding deepens, compassion naturally grows. You begin to see that others are also struggling under conditions they did not choose. Their actions often come from their own fear, confusion, and suffering. This does not excuse harm, but it dissolves hatred. When you understand that life is not fair to anyone in the way the mind expects, forgiveness becomes easier. Not forced forgiveness, but release. At this depth, peace becomes quieter and more stable. You stop demanding explanations. You stop rehearsing arguments with the past. You stop trying to balance invisible scales. Instead, you meet life as it is, moment by moment. This acceptance does not make you passive, it makes you present. You act when action is needed, and you release when release is required. Buddhism teaches that true peace does not come from life becoming just, but from the heart becoming flexible. When you allow life to be real instead of fair, you stop being disappointed by its nature. You stop feeling personally targeted by its unpredictability. You understand that suffering is not a punishment, and joy is not a reward. They are experiences that arise and pass. This realization removes a deep layer of bitterness. Bitterness grows when expectations remain unmet for too long. When expectations dissolve, bitterness has nothing to attach to. The heart becomes softer. The mind becomes quieter. Life feels less heavy, even though nothing external has changed. When you stop asking life to be fair, gratitude begins to replace resentment. You appreciate moments not because they were guaranteed, but because they happened at all. You learn to receive what comes without demanding more or less. This balance creates contentment, not excitement, not constant happiness, but a steady acceptance that carries you through both joy and difficulty. This is how letting go reaches maturity. You stop fighting reality with ideas of how things should have been. You stop measuring your worth through outcomes. You stop comparing your journey to others. You allow life to be exactly what it is, without adding mental resistance. In this space, peace arises naturally.
Well,
Yes. And now, breathe. Just keep up with breathing. And now, Aagia Pal, would you like to lead this?
Absolutely.
Great.
So let's begin with 1 minute of strong heart breath, heart pumping, we call it. Heart breath with breath of fire, and begin. And exhale. Beautiful. So now let's segue into the Dynamite Diamond meditation. And we'll begin with 1 minute of heart breath. And in this 1 minute, go deep into your heart center and listen. Just listen. And see what your inner voice is saying and where it's leading you and what may come to you, to your awareness as you're healing. And as we said, this could be a part of yourself, someone else, some being in nature, um, any being that may come to your awareness for healing. So let's take a minute just to center and listen and begin. And continue your heart breath and feel very strong third eye energy. And focus and see this light beam directed to your Healy, be it a part of yourself, a four-legged, a two-legged, a one-legged, a finned, a winged, whatever comes to you as your Healy. And begin. And inhale, please. And exhale. In deep gratitude. And next we'll have Siri Gian lead us in CNR.
And begin. Inhale. Exhale. And 2 minutes become awareness and then understand, excuse me, what happened from EDS. Use your notes. okay. Aagia Pal?
I am so happy to be able to share this with everyone. This was an amazing experience for me. Today is I'm so resonating. I've given lip service to a lot of this over the years, and today I really began to see more deeply and own more fully um, the fact that anyway, I had my Healy, I had a twofer, for my Heelys. One was me, self-compassion, and the other was a client of mine, which I think was really me anyway. So what I noticed is that I have given away so much of my power, of my personal power, to others, trying to do better. You got to do better, the inner voice. Oh, and then they'll approve of you more. And that's what that makes life worth living. And so never good enough. No, keep going. You got to push to do better. And then when someone comes along and is better, you say, is more successful, whatever, then comes comparison and negative self-talk. What's the matter with you? And comparison and envy is oh, I'll never be as good as someone's, I'll just, so, oh well, so give it. But there's never a place for peace, and there's never a place of freedom. And as so well, first so this was the inner part of me that was needing some real self-compassion. And so I felt really called to to giving myself a lot of compassion, to regain and to really recognize my my power, and that it's a gift, and to keep it, and to use it, and to not let anybody or any of my thoughts about anything to take it away. And this was very big, huge for me. And the first wall came up with, oh God, look what I've done. And then letting that go and saying, okay, now, oh, I'm grateful. This is an awakening. So I'm no matter, I'm gonna stand, you know, I'm not the story. I'm the space where the story happens. So I'm just gonna hold this space, and I'm going to um yeah, stand strong and stable and grateful. And I am who I am. In the final, analysis, I am who, and I'm happy with who I am. So, I'm continuing to say that to myself. You're happy with who you are and who you're becoming, and you don't want to live anybody else's life. You want to live your life. And I do. And so today it's just, thank you for listening, because it's such a seeing it more deeply is so freeing. And then when one of my clients who's having some cardiac problems along with everything else. I asked if I had permission to focus, to do Dynamite Diamond on this person, and I heard that I did have permission, so I did on one of the arteries, and um, I could picture all the dross, all the gunk, all the everything, the whatever plaque, whatever it is, coming free, releasing. This is all about releasing, even physically releasing. And then I felt a flow, felt a flow in this person, a smooth flow. And it was like I was flowing into this person, and then there was like a loop fall flowing back. So pretty pretty profound, pretty exceptionally powerful um experience, and just really grateful um that I have recognized. Yeah, and the last thing I'll say is that this video, every single line I could write down and then write a whole page about. It was so jam packed with wisdom that I'll listen to it again and probably again, and but it's beginning to really move into my viscerally, into all, every cell of my body. And maybe I'll become a Buddhist. I don't know, but I know that this is on track and right when I needed it. And so I'm very grateful. Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, I would suggest that maybe you don't have any kind of, how do you say, a religion or whatever, but just keep up with this wisdom and this peace that comes from the Buddha. Just
Got it.
Yeah. How
Got
about that? Is that okay?
Got it. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. That was wonderful.
Mhm.
And please ask with your client, how about his arteries?
Yeah, I think I will.
Okay, that'll be great.
They have an appointment next week with a some cardiologist or vascular surgeon, and so I'll ask after that.
Okay,
Mm.
sounds great.
Thank you so much.
Yes, because that is really what is happening, as we have heard from others and
Wow.
finding it true.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, that was because your true self. That's what's happening.
Mm.
Isn't
Mm-hmm.
that isn't that the best?
It's unbelievably the best. Yes.
That's right. Good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Gian Dasprem.
Satnam. I was experiencing deep peace, and it reminded me of a few meditations that I've done, sort of like Siddha healing. Today, the peace was just by looking at the water and recognizing the water and going into that sense of smoothness and comfort. Um, there was a little bit more letting go today into that deeper state of relaxation where we still have that little bit to keep us aware through our breathing. And today I was able to have some deep third eye, the light coming through, and the mandalas of how it can come through. For me, a lot of the third eye they turn into circles, and they can have colors and whatnot, and just breathing through that too, to this space of just comfort, and in that letting go of, being able to be with our experience, and then using our energy to move into different areas of the chakras. And what I was noticing today was just coming through those colors and noticing the variations and the feelings that can come through that, and the letting go that it takes. And I was brought into, some chanting. It was Ramadasa Sasi So Hung, when we take that deep inhale on the hung, and we just sort of go back into that pattern again, and it just can relax our body to help our subconscious and open up these channels for us to realize and accept, and to move through this, to notice what we are and what we may not be. So for me, it was, coming back to the birth of being in the water, and the representation of the water, and then how I am softening with inside the breath and noticing the water, and the rising and falling of the breath, along with the emotions, and then with the cleansing and the sweeping and the exiting of being brought back to a broom, and how we can, how we sweep an area where we're doing it carefully, and we're moving this, dirt away from, whether it's inner dirt or however you. I was brought right back to Japji, and I was holding hands with Baba Sir. We were hand in hand and foot to foot, and we were doing a little stretching, and, okay, we can leave that too. And coming into the I cannot be a sacrifice even one time, because I am entering into this space of divinity and peace and acceptance, and it's just this flow. It's the release of control. There's Japji. There's also this other song that came to mind. I release control and surrender to the flow. That is within me, and all around me is what I'm moving through. And for me, I'm just brought to this divine place, this peaceful place. And we strive for that, and we achieve that. I do, when I go to sleep at night and enter these other parts of my consciousness, no reality, right? That we can find these different ways that we can go within our breath and within the practicing, and of the letting go of all opinions. When we get to there, we're prepared to arrive at that place of no opinion, of moving away from that, right? And just sometimes we get a view of it, and other times we may have a feeling of that release coming through our body. When we can practice our emotions and live through the experience for our physical being to come to that reality, then we can further move on to some of these other practices, because at times it may seem difficult to accept or to bring in or what have you. And that's where we can notice what we can handle and what we think we may, right? There's a certain acceptance within the letting go, and then that handling of that, and that Wahe Guru within there for me is just that beautiful sense of, right, of it's okay that we're all equals, that we have these sometimes dreams, and then we end up in that person's living room, and then it's no big deal to go beyond, leaving that place and then maybe digging a car out of the woods that has 4 people in it. It's okay. And then your inner voice, your soul it's going to come to life with that preparation that I have been given, that we have been giving, that we share within this bubble of that energy that we're putting out for that release, acceptance, and knowledge. That's, from my experience, I am noticing that knowledge comes from the air, that it comes through the mind, and then it can come through a communication shared with others, and that is a reality. That's the actual that we're working with. And yet we have the time to move beyond that, within that reality of that acceptance, of that letting go, of that opinion going away, for the allowance of that other new energy to come through, which in a way, yes, we can move away from the explanation, but if we're all dreaming here within the same thing, this freedom that we're having within all the information, to bring that in and to be able to accept it and be with it, and that divine beat is still going on, like within the earth. It's so beautiful to have this, and then to move on to the next part, and to make that part of our everyday. For me, I think the way of communication is expanding beyond the media, which is us all out here, the billions of people, that we're in that way of forgiveness, of acceptance, to be, to accept that surprise coming down, however it may be, whether it's a physical thing or whether it's an actual total change, right? Like the air, I could notice the air yesterday. It was just like this beautiful day where I hadn't noticed that it seemingly in so long, but it was the flavor, it was the taste, it was the coolness of that air. It was the other air coming in, later in the day, and it's warm. And just for the willingness to be with this cycle, and to have that, you know, total picture of us all the way coming through that reality of billions and billions of years, is just so beautiful in the Waheguru. And I don't want to take up too much time and repeat myself. So thank you for this opportunity, and all the ones that are coming forth for us in our way of being. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. So next for Salt City.
Satnam. Very powerful healing experience for me. And I've struggled for a long time with being drawn to people who are cruel and even abusive to me. And then, drawn, not just enduring that or just being magnetized to that. I have a kind of good sense of where that came from, because I had a really tough relationship with my mom, and I kind of took that then into intimate relationships, and have been that were clearly abusive, like met the standard of that. So the more over the last few years, I've got really good help at a wonderful system here in the Boston area, Boston Metro West, called Advocates. And that, it's like very integrated mental health care. And I did a lot of work in EMDR to kind of erase. It's basically kind of gentler electric shock. It is an electric shock, but it erases memory, deconstructs memory. So I worked pretty hard on that for like the last 5 years. And I'm so grateful for that healing. And I know Tantric had a lot to do with it. I know my Kundalini practice. And then Seva, doing Seva has been powerful healing process with this. And I don't know what else more to say, because it's more shall be revealed type of layered system. I've been aware of this dynamic. I've been working on it, but it was so healing to be in this something much deeper even happened in our work today. And I'm finding myself through our work together, that this is a big samskara that's getting healed, coming from the depths of the unconscious, being drawn to something that's really destructive and demeaning, etc., etc. Just came through where somebody I was working for who fit this pattern very clearly, and I was able to break that off. It's kind of shameful. I feel ashamed and humiliated by the element of sexuality to it. Nothing ever happened. But to be drawn in that energetic way is really not healthy at all. So it's an ongoing project. It's probably the most serious project challenge in my life. So it's very nice at the tender age of 67 to see it dismantle and know that what a blessing that is to be released from that samskar, that karma. So I hope, thank you. I pass.
Thank you. That is extraordinary. Isn't that wonderful?
It's miraculous. It really is miraculous.
And just coming, go ahead.
The power of soul work to heal.
Right. From your own soul.
My own soul. The love, the depth, the infinite love of soul. It makes me very, like, just joyful. So joyful that it makes me cry. So.
Wonderful. This is so grand. Thank you. And also, I suspect, like what Aagia Pal was talking about, we normally have all of those words.
Yes.
But now we are actually moving.
Moving it.
Actually happening. And that is what I believe is actually fifth dimension is really happening.
Wow.
To be who you really are. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. Hadi Munder.
I think Hattie Mender said she was going to be an angel for today. She's probably trying to get ready for her class.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, Hadi Munder?
No, do you think Kehar wants to go?
Yes. Is she still on there?
Yeah, I'm
I
still
think
here.
so.
Oh, good. And I want to tell you about Hadi Munder. Think about for number 2, 7th class, as and think about that for next week. Thank you, dear. Okay, Kehar.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Yes.
I think what's sorry, I've been really emotional. So if I cry through it, just whatever. To kind of share this combination of something I experienced last night and it came together here. So there's like oh wow, I just realized something. So I was in like a library, and I'm realizing now, oh, maybe it was like a representation of the Akashic records, right?
Yes.
And like just letting a book come to me that would help me in my healing at the moment, and like, you know, feeling the book and the color. And anyway, I won't get into that because that was a whole other story. But then today the same thing happened when we went into CNR space, which, to be honest, because I usually can't make these calls because I'm busy with preparing to teach and everything. And
of course.
So I know this is something that's like been a newer concept that the group has been doing. But you know, for me, I was like, okay, I'm just seeing what happens. And there was a different color book. This time it was green. Last night it was pink. And I opened it, and it was a big well, what I realized is all of these things, right? Because I see colors a lot and shapes, and Gian Dasprem, you were talking about that too. And I ended up like chanting through it as well. They're all just like codes and helper tools, right? To uncover, to let us access what's already there, right? So for me, like color has always been big. And it was like one of those, it was just like this nexus of rainbow light, like those like Christmas. I don't know if you guys know, do you know those Christmas ornaments that just are rainbow colored in every direction, right? And just like balls and hang. So that was like at the center. That's like what the book opened to that, and then it just kind of went all the way around to just kind of turn into it. And it just was my field, and it came into me. And it's just like, this is my personal space, right?
Right.
And as we've talking about, like for me, what the big thing that's coming up, right, is exactly what we've been talking about. Like, how do you feel so much and like let it all go through? Because those of you who know me for a long time, I feel a lot.
Yeah,
Right.
beautiful.
Yeah, I feel a lot. Which I know is like a good thing, but it's also not. And I'm just like like realizing so much, as we all are. Like I don't want this cycle anymore of like feeling and holding, and and just sitting in that space with that representation of me. This like idea of mirror neurons came up, and as it changes every bit of ourselves, like when we heal apart, we hear the whole. And just doing it in my big aura space was connecting with all my parts of my body, right? Aung San Waheguru, right? Like that came up. And with this idea from the Buddhist perspective, how they talk about emotion, right? Where it was, you feel it, but you don't hold on to it, right? This idea of flow, you don't identify with it. What I was thinking about was, what stuck with me was the concept of joy, right? So kind of going back to that image in the koshas, right? The heart of it is that Anand, right? And it's a concept throughout all religions, but is those in Sikhi, right? If you're familiar with that Anand Sab, that feeling of bliss, ecstasy, right? And one of the things Yogi Bhajan said, no matter what you feel about him, right, is he said that there's always like an elevated side to every emotion that's sticky, right? Right? So, right? Yeah. And what the stickiness, I think, comes down to always is what has been coming up, right? It's insistence, resistance, and expectation, right? And all of our desire for those three things, insistence, resistance, and expectation, I think either comes down to fear or control. It can be in control, it can be desire, it can be power, fear, loss, security, right? So those are like the sticky sides of the emotion, right? But each one has a transformation. So I think for me, the thing, and this is not a new concept for me, but at this moment, like really meditating on the elevation of emotion, right? Because that I think reduces the stickiness and helps us see the truth and see how we're human beings and we're meant to have emotion, right? Like it's those, yeah, I've actually never seen that picture, but now that I've seen it in the chat, now I'm just like, oh, okay, I can't unsee it. It's what is it? The physical, the food, the physical, the energetic, the wisdom, the emotion, the wisdom, and the bliss. So you have to go through the emotion. Um, anyway, so there's so many other things, but I feel like that is enough for me to share right now.
Thank you.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
That's wonderful. That's extraordinary. All of you, if you would like, all of you would put together all of that to make a page or an essay to do that so that you can let other people understand that, for it's true, and not just blah blah blah, but understand what's really happening. That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, let me look. Okay, now it's Japa Saraswati.
Satnam, I have a lot of notes. So the first thing I want to say is just how moved I am with how interconnected all of our messages seem to be, because number one on my notes is with Aagia Pal, when Aagia Pal began the saying that she was her Healy was not split but like doubled, because I find the same is true of myself constantly, and that what I'm doing is healing that aspect of myself and someone else. It reminded me of Ho'oponopono, that that when Dr. Len was doing his work with the residents, the inmates, that he was healing essentially himself first, that we are the one that we heal first. And then the second thing that Aagia Pal said that really rung with me was that she was grieving giving away power in her life. And that was literally my Healy, Aagia Pal, was I was healing that part of myself that that I have in my life given away so much power. And I feel as a woman conditioned by my family and conditioned by society to almost to be powerless, that people that I feel that people behave more agreeably toward women who don't exercise their power. Yeah, and then Kehar, when we heal the part, we heal the whole. So that Kehar said that, and that was that was coming back to Dr. Len, but healing the aspect of ourself that rings true with other people. And then my second note from this was once again from the video. Waiting for an apology ties us to the person we're waiting for. But I'm thinking about Siri Gian when you left New Mexico and you said you had to donate your grandmother's china, not had to, but that you did, and that it was on a truck driving away. And I really felt that because I have my grandmother's china, and I was thinking recently about her dining table, and then Aagia Pal said dining table today, and I was just like, oh my gosh, we're in. So anyway, Siri Gian, I don't know that you came out and said it like this, but I'd felt about my own baggage, the own stuff in my storage unit as like karmas that I'm holding on to. And just this week, I have started getting rid of stuff from the store. You know, I had to like consolidate it, move everything to one location a little bit better. But that baggage is being attached to the past, and coming back to that message from the video that life just isn't fair, that there's no such thing as fair in this life, and that being attached to that baggage is like being attached to that thing that's unfair. I feel like the video said it really well, that oh gosh, yeah, basically the things that we're not going to get over are the ones that we keep coming back to, that's the baggage that we're carrying with. But coming also back to the video, I cannot emphasize strongly enough what a fine line there is between spiritual bypassing and not associating with the ego self. Like that can be very, very dangerous. And I experienced so much of it, and it's not just within this ashram, within the ashram up here in Maine, that's not a Kundalini ashram, you know, within so many other spiritual circles that I've traveled in. But like for example, I remember meeting somebody in Millis, and like we were really, I felt like really vibing, you know, like we were really resonant with one another. And when I was saying, and by the way, I want to say that he's gay, that there wasn't anything sexual between us, you know, and that wasn't ever going to be the direction for that. But that I felt him censoring his smile at some point in time for the interest of neutrality. And that it genuinely, that like, that's only one example of the ways of self-censoring or like not associating with the ego self, that obviously that's not right, you know, like obviously that's and that it injured me, that I am, you know, like I know, oh, I should let go of it, but like I'm injured by all of the microaggressions that I was not allowed to name, and that I was not allowed to address, and that were intended to exclude me. And that and then other people will say, well, if you didn't like it, just leave, yada yada. Anyway, fine line between spiritual bypassing and not associating with the ego. Here was the big nut. Okay, so CNR, consciousness no reality, is not associating with the ego in this way. So like, you know, when, if for example in tantric or in a regular class or whatever, if the asana or the kriya is not in your practice today, simply imagine yourself doing it in quote unquote perfect posture, and build those pathways doing it mentally as opposed to necessarily doing it physically. That is just exactly what CNR is just like first you do it mentally, and whatever happens physically, and then once again the same exact thing with the frequency of forgiveness. Consciousness no reality is like frequency of forgiveness in a big blanket for everything. So it's not like, so then for the CNR part, I was visualizing myself not just calling back my power, but being comfortable residing in my sovereignty and my radiant power. And that was like that was the CNR of it, that was just like not getting everyday self thoughts involved with the reality of my inherent nature. And that's the same thing with kind of like with frequency of forgiveness, that if it's not available to you right now because you're sitting there thinking like Adolf Hitler did terrible things, you're never going to be able to get over that, you know. So you just have to imagine, in the same way of just imagining being in this totally sovereign, radiant way of relating to self. And anyway, so that was my big, that was it. That's it. Got it, guys.
That's great.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Oh, I also want to say, Kehar, I sent the image of the koshas to everybody's text message. And if there are other depictions, I chose that one because of it looking, because of the words were all on one side of the page, so I could make it bigger. But there are other different depictions. It's more traditionally depicted in a round way, like an onion. So I think of it a lot like an onion. And if you want to geek out and talk yoga, I would love to talk about the overlaps between the light bodies and the koshas. Like, I've literally written papers on it. Would love to talk about it. Okay, that's it.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Yeah, you know, that's kind of what I had experienced in the conscious non-reality, was like that circle. So that was really cool. Thanks for sharing.
That's you guys are great. This is wonderful. Yes, because you all are really finding about who you really are, which is actually God. That's it. Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's called about sovereignty and other words as well. And it comes from pure truth. And actually, from that meditation, I just came for pure love. That was it. It's done. Okay. You guys are doing great. Okay. So you know what we're going to do for next week, and the same way for the third part of the video. And when we get there. But also during this week, please think about that second section. Know about that part of the video to meditate from that, so that you have learned within yourself, your colors are actually energy. You know that. So please, you are moving that because it is your own self with a P, with an S, with your own soul, to change everything, to pull it together in that way of sovereignty. So just, this is what to do during this next week. And we'll talk about it more.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, it really is.
Waheguru. Yeah.
God bless you on all of you.
Thank you so much, Siri Gian.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, Kehar, will you read our song?
Sure. Inhale. May the long time sun shine shine upon you. Our love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on.
Inhale. And love, love, love you, each one of you. And we come together as pure love. Love you all. See you. See you. All the week.
Have a great week, everybody. Love you
Bye,
all.
everybody.
Bye.
Satnam.
Satnam.
See you next time.